I'm here with Scott Well, and we have a great victory. Tell us about it, Scott.
We had the case of Catrina Falbo, and she was arrested and charged with 5 felony counts for possession, for sale, and for sales of marijuana. She presented evidence 2 weeks ago at a preliminary hearing in this case that showed that she in fact was a qualified patient. She in fact did have her state ID card and her written recommendation by a doctor. We also showed that any marijuana that was distributed to only members, and that compliance with the state laws was all right there in front of the court. The district attorney took the position that any sale of marijuana, any exchange of money, is per se illegal, adopting basically the same opinion as the district attorney of Los Angeles County, Steve Cooley, and said that any sales should be illegal.
Yeah, but they're talking about federal.
Well, they're talking about state law because they don't want to recognize the development of the state law here for protection of medical marijuana patients and dispensaries. And even though that SB 420 and Prop 215 and the statutes that followed and the cases interpreting them are all pretty clear that they give a defense to people who are involved in the legal distribution, growing, and use of marijuana, the district attorney just doesn't want to let that go for some reason. So my client, Catrina Falbo, was in substantial compliance with the laws. Today was a continued hearing on the preliminary hearing. Basically, the judge wanted to hear from us on the legal issues, and he wanted complete briefing on the issue. So we submitted a history of the cases and the statutes. The judge read it very carefully, and the judge made a ruling today that in his own discretion, he decided to dismiss the case and protect Ms. Falbo from prosecution under the criminal laws.
And what judge was this? I didn't get his name.
This was Judge Gallivan. And Judge Gallivan is actually a retired judge sitting here on assignment for the month. And he's an independent judge, and he listened very carefully. He reviewed all of the law that we gave him, and he made a very well-reasoned decision, which he put on the record. So we will have a copy of his reasons for dismissing this case. And my request for dismissal was basically just an invitation for him to exercise the discretion given him by the legislature to dismiss cases that he thinks are wrong.
And I loved it because he was very thorough. He read everything. And, as far as I'm concerned, he definitely made the right decision.
Well, I certainly agree with that. I think that going any further is wrong. The district attorney may take some action in this, and they may want to appeal.
And do you think that will hurt us?
No, not at all, because if they appeal, I believe that the facts are still very righteous, and I believe that we will win either at the trial stage, the Court of Appeals, or the California Supreme Court. The next step, I must say, though, is for the return of property, because what initiated this case in the first place is Ms. Falbo was arrested, and then several months went by. She then came to me, and I called the police, and I asked them to return her property since she was released and no charges were filed. It was very shortly after that, after they denied releasing her property, that the charges became filed. I then went in and sought an order immediately preserving the evidence. So there's an order that says the police department had to preserve all evidence taken pursuant to the warrant. So I'll be submitting an order for return of property to the judge and hoping to get all of the property that Ms. Falbo had taken from her in the warrant back to her. So that's the next step of the proceedings.
Great. Now, Chris, come in. Chris Glew is also here with us, and we are so grateful to both of you. I mean, Chris, you were in Tara Sorensen's case yesterday,
right,
and you handle a lot of medical marijuana cases. What kind of a job do you think Scott did?
An excellent job.
He was so job. I know.
It really takes a passion, and I think he really showed that when you are passionate about your client's cause and you do believe in it, anything's possible. And if you have the right judge and people that are going to listen and sift through all the nonsense that's out there and all the propaganda, when people see clearly, they oftentimes come to the right conclusion. Well, and the right thing happened today.
He did, and you know what? I really liked this judge because he cared. It seemed like he cared. He listened, and he just spit back everything that Scott had said. So that tells me that he really read the information.
Yeah.
Do most judges do this?
Most judges are supposed to do this.
Right.
Unfortunately, there are some political pressures,
right,
and a lot of it is about money, unfortunately. I mean, a perfect example is the discrepancy between, the Board of Equalization. They want to profit like crazy, and how can the DA say that we can't sell marijuana when the state of California is collecting all this money from the sales of marijuana?
So it's pretty crazy, but hopefully one of these days, what do you guys think? Do you think it's going to change?
Well, it has to. It's like the guy standing at the bottom of the tsunami looking, we're going to be able to surf this. We'll make it. The wave is coming. Legalization, you know, the marijuana industry is already, the wheels are turning, and it's just the last days of prohibition that we're existing in, and there continues to be those last few people that are persecuted under draconian laws, and that's all we're dealing with.
And that's so sad because people lose their jobs, their houses, families break up, and it's so sad that that's what they're doing for no reason at all, because it is just a weed.
That's
Well,
right.
I think that's what Arnold Schwarzenegger said while governor. He said, it's not a drug, it's just a weed.
That's right.
Yeah, well, look, we're
Well,
Arnold.
I think we're all on the same philosophical side, so
Right.
we
It's
won't
just
debate the merits of the event.
exactly. I mean, you know, our job is to get this information out there to people that don't understand what it's about.
The best thing that we can do at this point, I mean, Chris and I are going to fight for any individual client that comes to us, and our goal really is to fight for that client's rights on that day in court. To the extent that we can make law, to the extent that these cases go up higher into public opinions, then we may be able to make some effective change with the way that the public perceives this and the way it's prosecuted in the law. We hope to be able to do that.
Well-
We're just individual lawyers representing individual clients, but we believe that the law should be followed, and right now, the DA's office and the cops are not following the law.
Exactly, and that's one of the main problems. And I'm so happy that we have people like Chris Glew, Scott Well, who are willing to fight, and you guys know the truth.
Well, in all honesty, though, there's a lot of lawyers out there that are smart enough and they're passionate enough. They're out there fighting this cause. It's not just about Scott and
I know.
myself. It's about all these people who showed up to court. It's about all the judges that have taken the right stance, the right position. It's about a lot of DAs that see the light and actually dismiss these cases when proper facts are presented to them. It's everybody. It's about guys in, you know, Congress. It's about Barney Franks on NPR yesterday telling
Yes.
everybody that, you know, it's dumb law. It's about every single person. It's about Amiano standing up and being the only dissenting vote against stupid laws that are being passed here.
Well,
to
those
regulate.
things, it's all about money, power, and
That's right.
egos.
So it's a lot of people cumulatively, and everybody's doing their part, and Scott did a fine job today to add to that.
Well,
All we can do, and I'll just say this, all
Okay.
we can do as lawyers is we can do the best we can to help educate. And I'm sure that Chris and I would be happy at any time to talk about what we've learned about the law, to talk about the history of the illegalization of marijuana, because we've studied it with great fascination, because we feel it's important to share it with others in the legal profession, judges and attorneys. So we'll be happy to continue to spread that message, because I think that we share our agreement that education of the public is really the best that we can do to help this to finally get to the point where we can all utilize the medicine that we need.
Sorry.
well, you guys are both doing a great job. I look forward to, well, I want to say I look forward to more cases with you, but I really don't.
Let's hope not.
I mean, I love what you're doing. I think it's great, and I thank you both so much for all the time, energy, and effort that you've put into these cases, because I know it's not, I know it's a long process for all lawyers.
Absolutely.
Thank you very much.
So
Thank you.
thank you.